Chris, welcome. By the way, could this be a bearish sign? Sometimes we want that panic as a bottom signal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that's kind of surprised us with the most recent pullback so far this year is NASDAQ volatility has actually been more muted than the last couple of pullbacks. If you go back 6 months, early December, the VXN spike was a lot higher. So these more muted moves are somewhat surprising. We've been waiting for a NASDAQ term structure inversion to really kind of clear the decks a little bit. So that's when the near-term volatility 30 days spikes above the 90-day volatility. It's gotten close intraday. It's happened a little bit, but we have not closed with an inverted term structure yet this year. That happened 5 times in 2021. So that's been somewhat of a surprise to us. It kind of just feels like there's a little bit less of a fear of a crash and more of an expectation of a grind lower in tech as it gets, repriced, rotated out of, and in response to the Fed. It's kind of like the Fed is the big risk. It's already known and it's weighing on the markets. But for me to see a trading bottom, I like to see VXN will really spike at a NASDAQ term structure inversion.
Okay, interesting. So in other words, we're really not in the kind of environment where we're either experiencing big declines or about to come off of them. It may be more of a muddle through lower, but that being the case nevertheless. What else do you see, Chris, if you could give us some context on the markets overall? Do the technicals or what you're looking at hold up pretty well for the Dow, for the S&P, or no?
Well, so, there's been a lot of talk about technicals this week. You have the NASDAQ, which has been supported by the 100-day, closing below that yesterday, the S&P with the 50-day. We've been looking a lot at a potential rotation out of U.S.-based products and into international. Particularly been looking at the emerging markets, and that has been battling with its moving average 50-day, I believe. It finally closed above yesterday. It's back below today. That's run into a lot of resistance. So seeing a lot of technical issues. We're also seeing a lot of major reversals, big intraday moves without a lot of as much close to close type of moves. So that's been kind of interesting as well. It just shows you how much shuffling is going on as opposed to everything moving together.
Is that normal for January because people are trying to figure out where they want to be? How would you compare the market environment today to perhaps 2021 or pre-pandemic?
Well, sure. We've been seeing a lot of rotation, like we said, but we have been seeing rotation from time to time, all through the last couple of years. One interesting situation was on Monday. We've talked about it a little bit already. The massive reversal in the NASDAQ down 2.7% to close up on the day. That's actually historically been a positive indicator. We look back 10 years, it's happened 12 times. The NASDAQ's been up on average about 5% 1 month later, and up over 70% of the time. So pretty strong performance there. And what's interesting about these reversals is, I said we looked back 10 years and found 12 times. They've all happened within the last 4 years. So that kind of speaks to the buy the dip mantra that's emerged over the last couple of years. And Monday showed that buy the dip mentality is at least there for some investors still.
Fascinating. Just before you go, are you seeing a change in retail participation or what's happening with the meme stocks?
Yes, I mean, if you go back over the last year, everyone was talking about the GameStops of the world. Obviously, momentum has slowed there. Call volume has slowed there. Recently, the focus has been on the mega cap stocks like, the Apples and Teslas of the world. I would point out those stocks are like the Titanic. I mean, call volume is going to have an impact no matter what, but it's going to have much more of an impact on a smaller market cap stock like GameStop than it would in a stock like Apple or Tesla. I mean, the volume is there, but I don't think it's having nearly the impact that we were talking about, a month or 10 months.
You mean the Titanic is a compliment? Well, not a compliment, but we're talking about
the size of the Titanic.
The size of it, right? Exactly. Chris, thanks for your time today. We really appreciate it.